In Nepal, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed fabric masks to students in Lumbini. After an unfortunate car accident, a kind student donates his organs, benefiting 5 families. Welcome to DaAi Headlines, I'm Hu Chiao. Glad to have you here. In Nepal, the pandemic hit its peak in May this year. Though now the pandemic eased, it's important to not be too relaxed about it. Tzu Chi volunteers continue to send love to local people in Nepal, as volunteers have taught local women to sew fabric masks in order to distribute those to students in need. A founder of a Buddhist organization also arrived to give students Master Cheng Yen's kind reminders. Let's take a look. In May this year, Nepal faced its peak in the ongoing pandemic, though recently it eased down. Tzu Chi has been providing continuous care to Nepal, as volunteers went to multiple schools in Lumbini to distribute fabric masks.
We have to wear masks every day, at home and at school. We have to change our masks and wash it every day. We wear it to prevent us from getting COVID-19, so we will be safe.
A representative from a religious organization in Nepal, Bante, promotes the importance of wearing masks to students. He has also expressed Master Cheng Yen's reminders. These fabric masks are from Master Cheng Yen in Taiwan, and we hired women in Lumbini to make these masks. On the bookmarks, they're reminders of Master Cheng Yen, and in the bag, there are 2 masks each and a bookmark. Master Cheng Yen reminds us to wear masks, covering both our nose and mouth. We must also wash our hands and keep a safe social distance. During the pandemic, Tzu Chi continued to provide pandemic assistance to the people of Nepal, spreading love to Nepal, the birthplace of Buddha, and using the power of kindness to help those in need.
Thank you. Thank you. Tzu Chi Foundation. Tzu Chi Foundation.
According to the Indonesian government regulations, only those who have completed both vaccinations can enter public facilities, such as shopping centers, markets, and farmer markets. In order to ease the minds of the customers who are shopping, the market managements are also requiring vendors to exhibit their proof of vaccination. Let's take a look.
In order to provide a safe, sanitary, and comfortable environment for shopping, Sunter Agung of Jakarta's Northern District is working with the local military and government to promote the importance of getting vaccinated as part of the fight against COVID-19 and updated information about the disease. This promotion is to help achieve the number needed for herd immunity as soon as possible. To prevent forgery of a proof of vaccination, the staff is checking the documents in detail and also reminding vendors to display their proof of vaccination at their storefront to ease the worries of customers. As of the time of reporting, about 70% of Sunter Podomoro Market's vendors have received both shots. As for those who have yet completed the task, staff members will help them register at their nearest health center. Some of the vendors have not been vaccinated due to waiting for their appointment, while others happened to fall ill during their appointment and had to delay their vaccination.
Bagi yang sudah di wilayah masing-masing, kita tekanin tidak usah untuk melaksanakan vaksin lagi karena
Those who have already been vaccinated, they don't need more shots. For those who have not been vaccinated, they can be arranged by the village chief to visit the nearby health center to get their shots. Those who haven't been able to get a time slot, they can re-sign up for it. All vendors should get their shots.
Kita arahkan ke sana. Bagi yang belum, nanti ada season kedua, ada pendataan ulang, harus semua pedagang pasar Sunter Podomoro tetap berjualan biar kita efisiensi harus divaksin dulu.
Jadi ini hari ini saya Lurah Sunteragung selaku Ketua Gugus Tugas COVID.
As the village chief and the local team leader on COVID-19 prevention, we are working with the market management to spread with the importance of getting vaccinated. According to our check right now, the first floor vendors are mostly vaccinated. So we will continue to schedule those not vaccinated yet to the local health center to get their shots.
Kita himbau kita setiap hari share jadwal ke pasar untuk dijadwalkan melaksanakan vaksinasi ke vaskes terdekat. Ya.
Many of the vendors agree this is best, especially Anton. He says being vaccinated means he's not spreading the infection, and also his customers can shop without worry.
Ya harus itu rasa aman. Soalnya kita kan orang ke depan, ya kan? Terdepan kita menghadapi.
To ease the minds of our customers, because we come into contact with so many people, we should really do more to protect our health and to not spread it to other people. So getting vaccinated is very important.
Bahaya kan? Nah, jadi kita harus terutama kita vaksin dulu. Jadi kita menghadapin konsumen-konsumen, pembeli-pembeli.
The management of the market also checks the customer's proof of vaccination. Although this process makes shopping complicated, the customers cooperate.
Saya selalu bawa kartu vaksin terus.
I carry this each day when I head out. If those who have received both vaccinations carry their proof of vaccination green card, then that would be great.
Vaksin baru datang ke pasar. Ya.
This promotion is able to provide a safe shopping experience for this community and also block the spread of infection.
The vaccination center in Indonesia has become a great space for commercial promotion. In Tangerang, one of the vaccination centers has provided a small space for small local businesses to display their products. Let's see how it's going.
In the town of Karawaci, Tangerang, many mid to small businesses are finding exhibiting at the vaccination station increases their sales. These business owners say this is the perfect opportunity to promote their products, since the exhibition area is open to all residents regardless of age or working background.
Selama ini kita belum pernah mengadakan atau mengikuti.
We haven't had sales exhibitions at the vaccination center before. Despite the government limiting our activities, we still need to make money and continue developing. To help improve the revenue of mid to small business, we are having a pop-up here at this center. Besides the pop-up, we all have our own stores. So this helps also as advertisement. As long as the vaccination is going on, we will exhibit here.
Kegiatan ini akan terus selama vaksin yang ada di Kecamatan Karawaci berjalan.
This exhibition comprises of 20 mid to small businesses selling all different types of items, including food and handicrafts. Through this activity, the vendors are pretty happy, as during the pandemic, their income has been severely decreased, with some not even half of before.
Saat pandemi ini sih agak menurun.
During the pandemic, our income has decreased. Thankfully, my online sales is going well. I have been having this business since 2016 and have steady customers. I normally attend government conventions or market exhibitions, but now all of those fairs are closed, so I can only rely on online sales.
Jadi hanya di online. Dengan adanya PPKM ini dampaknya cukup.
The restrictions on public activities have impacted all of our sales, especially because we are small family business, so our income has been affected.
Juga keuangan kami juga semuanya berdampak.
With the exhibition in place, it has become the best place for mid to small businesses to flourish during this time.
In Indonesia, city volunteers initiated the Health Challenge 21 event for the second time. Hundreds of people line up at Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia in order to measure height, weight, and blood pressure before the event kicks off. Upon the special occasion, a young participant, Eric, is here to adopt a healthy diet while abandoning his previous habit of consuming meat. After the challenge, he felt less burden on his body. Since the event was held for the second time, volunteers who prep meals for the first challenges are familiar with the process, though during the challenge, volunteers face challenges in providing plant-based diet without stir-frying. Let's take a look. Measuring height, weight, blood pressure, and drawing blood. A group of people gathered outside of Tzu Chi Hospital in Indonesia to do health checks, readying up for Health Challenge 21 event.
Due to the pandemic and climate change, Master Cheng Yen wants everyone to promote vegetarianism. It is also an ideal of eco-friendliness and healthiness. So through the challenge, we hope to introduce more people into vegetarianism.
The Health Challenge was held for the second time by Tzu Chi Indonesia chapter. This time, 116 people joined in the challenge. 24-year-old Eric is young, yet he suffers from high blood pressure and cholesterol. Thus, he wanted to improve his condition through the challenge. The biggest challenge for me is to not eat meat, because in the past, I was a meat lover. So whenever I can't eat meat, I felt that my meal has lacked something. But after getting used to the new healthy meals, I felt less burden on my body. Why do we set it for 21 days? It's because research shows that if one can change their living habits within 21 days, this new habit will stick with them and become their new ongoing living habit. For some, it might take a whole year to get used to it. Indonesians' eating habits often include fried food with intense flavors, yet plant-based diet must get rid of these. Thus, the volunteers who are in charge of making meals face new challenges.
We promote plant-based diet without cheese and egg, so the dishes we have are mostly baked, and we use less of frying and stir-frying. We also reduce the amount of salt and sugar.
Changing Earth's future by trying out a plant-based diet, maybe you too can receive unexpected benefits. Student Wang, a freshman in college, suffered severe injuries after a car accident. In the past, the student once attempted to donate one of his kidneys to his father, yet the blood match failed as he wasn't able to help him. This time, student Wang's family members fulfilled his wish by donating his organs, helping 5 families in need. Tzu Chi Senior High School's alumni, student Wang, got into an unfortunate car accident on his way to school. After an attempt to save him, his family members decided to donate his organs on behalf of his wish.
By donating his organs, he can save a lot of people. His decision is very good and it is great, because he likes to help others.
Me and my family hopes that my brother can rest in peace, and we hope that he no longer has to worry about things. Since youth, student Wang is a person who loves to smile, as he also loves to help others. He likes to volunteer and is a filial child. If he comes back, he'll call me Grandpa, and he is very well-mannered. He always had a smile on his face.
When my son was in high school, he wanted to donate one of his kidneys to his father, but their blood didn't match, and his father also didn't want him to do it since he was too young.
Though student Wang wasn't able to donate his kidney to his father, now he has helped others by donating his heart, lungs, and liver, bring hope to 5 families. Methane is a temporary yet strong greenhouse gas, as it is the second largest greenhouse gas source in the globe, ranking right after carbon dioxide. In 100 years, global temperatures rose by 1.07 degrees Celsius. Within those numbers, methane contributed 0.5 degrees Celsius. In today's report, let's find out ways to reduce methane emissions. In the past 1,000 years, our temperatures now are at the highest. Human activity and greed has sped up global warming and climate change. If we don't make any changes, the temperatures globally might rise by 4 degrees Celsius, even up to 5 to 6 degrees Celsius. The chances of extreme heat waves in the past was once in 10 years, but now it occurs once in every 3 to 5 years. Global warming, sea level rising, and natural disasters around the world, these things are caused by greenhouse gases. At the end of the 19th century, carbon dioxide was around 280 ppm, but recently the numbers jumped up to 413 ppm, about a 40% increase. As for methane, in the past 20 years, methane emissions increased by 25%. The atmosphere is like a greenhouse, protecting the Earth from sun and avoiding high temperatures when exposed to sun rays. The atmosphere also keeps temperatures at a certain level when there isn't any sunshine. Yet the increase of greenhouse gas has trapped the heat inside the atmosphere as global temperature rises. Naturally generated greenhouse gas includes water vapor, 26% of carbon dioxide, ozone, methane, nitrous oxide, and man-made HFCs. Carbon dioxide is the biggest contributor. Though it has a relatively low greenhouse effect, the amount released is massive. Next, methane contributes to the greenhouse effect by 30%. In the span of 100 years, global temperatures rose by 1.07 degrees Celsius. Within the increase of numbers, methane contributed 0.5 degrees Celsius. Where does all these methane come from? Nowadays, 50% of methane emissions come from agriculture. In Taiwan, 70% of emissions comes from ruminants, and the remaining come from rice fields and factories that burn methane. When we dig oil, coal, and natural gas, during the process, methane will be released from the ground. In the range, tons of animals produce massive amounts of carbon emissions and methane. The produced numbers are far greater than human-caused pollution.
Stock farming takes a large percentage in greenhouse gas emissions. It takes up to 18% of industry emissions in the globe. What does 18% mean? It means that these emissions surpassed global transportation emissions.
Methane is 84 times the impact of carbon dioxide, as it can live up to 10 years within the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide, however, lives up to 1,000 years. This is a hint that if we can reduce methane emissions, we can slow down global warming drastically. Reducing methane is very effective. It's faster and simpler compared to reducing carbon emissions. Most importantly, if we don't reduce methane emissions, reducing carbon emissions is useless. As people continue to consume meat, in Taiwan, each person consumes up to 60 kilograms of meat per year, and recently, this number had just increased to 80 kilograms per year. If we can reduce our desire to consume animals, we can effectively reduce methane emissions, stopping global warming from hurting our planet.
Coffee is a common drink for many people, but do you know how raw coffee beans became coffee beans we know? Each coffee bean goes through precise roasting processes in order to produce a good cup of coffee. In today's scientific report, let's walk into a coffee lab and find out the secrets of making good coffee.
When you sip on a cup of coffee, have you ever thought of how this cup of coffee is made? At the coffee roasting factory, owned by one of the largest coffee store franchises in Taiwan, bags of raw coffee beans enter the venue daily.
Actually, a cup of coffee has a lot of secrets. Now we are entering a zone where it's not usually opened for visits. At the coffee lab here, coffee beans must go through a series of processes and experiments. This notepad here records the experimental processes of coffee.
Raw coffee beans sent through different production areas must go through multiple experimentations. This is to understand what roast curve is better for each bean type.
This machine is Sinar, and once we receive samples and regular stock, we will take a small batch of coffee beans out, and then through the machine, we can detect the beans' moisture content. Normal coffee beans have a moisture content of 10 to 12%, and there will be beans that have a moisture content of 13 to 14%. This means that the bean might be stored in an unsuitable environment. The machine can also detect the bean's density.
Coffee roasters will take a small batch of each coffee bean and use it for repetitive experiments. The experiments also must be done with different timings and temperatures in order for workers to tell the perfect roasting time and temperature of each bean type. Cup tasting is one of the most efficient and direct ways for coffee experts to determine the quality of coffee beans. After letting the coffee powders sink in for a while, coffee experts will taste each cup and then make direct and honest comments.
就我们在吃梅子，如果是比较轻的梅子，吃起来是酸质比较高，可乌梅就有一个很浓的发酵的味道。对，那个就是日晒跟水洗最好解释的感受。乌梅是日晒，青梅是水洗。对。好，那我们先。
After 4 minutes, coffee experts must remove the coffee grounds at the cup's surface in order to start smelling the coffee.
这么快？
Using 2 scoops and removing the coffee grounds at the surface, coffee experts do this step very carefully while avoiding scooping too much of coffee liquids.
对，新的灵冬，我们烘的比较甜，往甜味去走啊。
Using the method of sipping, coffee experts allow both the taste and smell to fuse.
好，那我们先是肯亚，超级肯亚好了。佛手柑跟葡萄柚的味道很强啊。
After tasting each cup and determining the right roast curve, the coffee beans will undergo its roasting process.
This is the meter for measuring coffee beans, and it will also detect its color.
Light roast and dark roast are defined differently, but nowadays, after caramelization, a machine can detect the colors of coffee beans after roasting.
After roasting, we will bring the coffee beans here to detect its color. The machine utilizes infrared and it penetrates the bean's surface color. The ray then bounces back and gives a response to the computer. With the numbers, the coffee roaster will know if the roast was accurate or not.
Using technology to assist coffee roasting, workers can control both heat and temperature. When the colors appear to blend in well, workers at the factory will start to pack the beans according to their order forms. Raw coffee beans from around the globe, through a complicated and serious processing, will become the delicious coffee we see in our hands.
The bamboo coin bank is an ideal, encouraging people to do one good deed per day. At Indonesia, city volunteers promoted the bamboo coin bank as many employees from enterprises corresponded eagerly. During the pandemic, many have learned the preciousness of being able to give. Thank you for watching. See you next time.